lit. Now tonight we're gonna do rosemary chicken. A lot of people say it's too powerful rosemary for chicken, but trust me, if you do it, it works. So what I do is I do garlic and rosemary under the skin, and I dry brine the chicken on the outside, but we're doing it like a flatty, you know. So that's what we're doing tonight, and with some veg. Got some butternut here. Important thing is use fresh rosemary, because it's got real oils in. Old or like rosemary that's dry, it just doesn't work that well. Fresh rosemary still got the oils in. Don't skim fresh garlic, don't be lazy. Cut this up, gonna mix it with oil, preferably a good tasting olive oil, but I just have normal oil now. Under the skin, dry brine the outside with spices, and then it's gonna be slow roasting, slow fire cooking. Next to the fire, taking our time, and no rush. African fire cooking, that's what we're doing tonight. I'm going to start now. I'm going to cut up the garlic and the rosemary, put it in the oil, put it under the skin, but before that I'm going to cut the chicken in the right, correct way. Got here a nice free-range fresh chicken. Free-range. Check it out. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to flat it, make a flatty, or spatchcock it. And there is actually a right and a wrong way apparently to do that, but I don't really care much for rules, to be honest. So you have to cut it from the back, and because you want to cook it evenly, you take out the backbone, or you're supposed to take out this backbone. And obviously it's a flatty, make it as flat as and even as possible so it cooks evenly. But I keep in the backbone because for me all bones have flavor. And I've never had a chicken that's too raw on one side and overcooked on the other side because I kept this backbone in. So I keep the backbone in, and the first thing I'm going to do is to cut along the back here. Not the tummy, the back. So I'm just going to go straight through the bone. Also, this little piece here in the back, apparently you have to take it out because it's got oils in. I love that part, man. That's my favorite part. We used to fight about that part when we were children because it's so tasty. But I'm keeping it in and I love that. I never died from it so far, so it should be fine. Okay, so kept the bone in on the one side, kind of went in the middle as much as possible on the back. And now it's a thick piece of chicken, obviously. You want to make it as fat as possible so the thick and the thin pieces cook evenly. For now, I'm just going to put on salt for an hour or so. And the reason being is you want the salt to get the moisture out of the skin because you want the skin as crispy as possible. But it's just salted, put it to the side for an hour or so in the fridge, and you will see water forms on the skin because the water's starting to come out of the skin. So now this chicken is gonna go in the fridge for at least an hour. So while the chicken is resting and the brine is getting the moisture out, I'm just gonna make the stuffing for under the skin. If you put it under the skin, the flavor just goes through the meat so much better. And it's very simple. I'm gonna chop garlic and rosemary very fine, put it in oil and stuff it under the skin. Obviously I'm going to wash my cutting board again, or preferably use a different one, and a knife because raw chicken blood is poison. So I'm just doing the dry spices on the outside after I take it out of the refrigerator. Wash the excess salt off. I'm just going to do some spices. It's very simple. This is very simple cooking. I'm not a fancy chef or anything. This is just basic good food, and what makes it nice is we're in Africa, I'm Afrikaner, we like the braai. And the extra flavor and enjoyment of this type of food is cooking it on the fire over coals. It just gives it that additional beautiful charcoal flavor. It's a nice social vibe and it just tastes better. slow cooking on the fire. So I've got some paprika, I've got some black pepper. It's ground, not fine. Usually I roast my own black peppercorns and then I grind it for the same reason as fresh herbs. There's still the real oil in there, and the oil has so much more flavor than stuff that's been ground up for a long time. I'm cutting up butternut and broccoli as veggie sides. I take the skin off the butternut because texture is part of the dish, and in my opinion, the skin has an unpleasant, tough texture. Just put them into tin foil with loads of butter and a bit of salt and you are good to go. I'm going to bring out the chicken now and just do the dry spice in the chicken skin, and then we can put the chicken on so long very far away from the fire, slow cooking on its side. I'm just going to wash off the excess salt now, and you will see that there's like little wet spots on the skin as the moisture came out. It's probably better to leave this overnight in the fridge, the longer the better. But there's no time because we came here only this afternoon. I'm just going to pat the skin dry. Now I'm using toilet paper because you don't have serviettes here. It won't kill you, but it's probably better not to use toilet paper when you're cooking for friends and family. It's going to be a bit weird. Before we put on the dry brine, obviously we're going to put this mixture of the oil and the garlic and the rosemary under the skin. Obviously you can pull the skin a bit loose before you put it on there, like I really learned myself now. Keep your fingers in there, make the skin nice and loose. This is really worth doing this because just putting stuff under the skin, the flavor is so much more pronounced. Trust me. Like I say, your logic might want to tell you that the rosemary is going to be overpowering, but actually it's not. It actually works out very nice, in my experience. Now, we're going to do the dry brine, or the dry spice, which is paprika and black pepper. That's it. If you're cooking on a fire and this is your heat source, then you have to regulate your heat source like any cooking. On the stove, you have a knob, you turn here, you move things around the fire or you move the fire. But as you brine and you get used to fire cooking, you'll start feeling it out. And fire cooking is fun because you can do it on a fire of flames, under the stars, like we used to do when we were primitive people, and it's fucking awesome. Just another tough day in Africa. Cheers guys.
Life is hard.
A squeeze of lemon right at the end just cuts through the fat and sharpens the taste. There's a chicken in here somewhere. So we've got beautiful butternut and broccoli and a beautiful chicken.